Welcome to all the attendees. My name is Jim Turner. I'm the CEO of Brokerkit. Mark, who is on the webinar, is helping us moderate. He's going to be managing the Q&A. He's in our customer success team here at Brokerkit. And we have Dan Wood from Brokerage Nation. Dan is a coach around the real estate industry. He's got some tips he's going to walk everybody through today on how to elevate your real estate agent recruiting. And then as we go along, we'll talk about if you want to do these things manually using the tips, but if you want to automate things quicker, we'll touch on how to do some of those things in Brokerkit. So with that, let's switch over to Dan.
I'm going to be giving you a ton of ideas on different ways that you can reach out and build relationships with real estate agents. So my website is brokeragenation.com. And if you go to brokeragenation.com/managers, that is a hidden page full of resources for you on these ideas of agent recruiting, agent attraction, and there's resources on there. So take a picture of this and go to it later on. Everybody is stuck recruiting with old ways that aren't fun and produce very little in results. And one of the things we're going to discover is that there isn't one magic bullet. Think of if you were on a boat fishing, you wouldn't just have one fishing line. You would have a whole bunch of fishing lines, right? And so these ideas that I'm sharing with you, it's not one that is going to tip the scale and win you the results. It's the fact that you've got all sorts of different ideas and mouse traps and attraction points and systems in place to attract agents on the go. And the first thing I want to touch on is cold calling. And I already know I'm going to get some resistance when I share this idea with you because it isn't fun. I'm going to encourage you guys that it actually can be fun if you do a monthly social. So it's some companies, and it's okay if all you do is have training and you're using that as a reason for why you're calling and connecting with agents. But it kind of gets exhausting on both parties, for you and for them. So I encourage you to have a monthly social for real estate agents to network and to connect in your local community. So some ideas would be to do like a Segway tour. We did a Segway tour downtown and we got a whole bunch of real estate agents to show up. And when you do these live events, like they're having fun, they're in person, they're building a relationship with you personally. And you're the key person that's putting this event together, and you keep doing these fun events and you get more and more agents coming and going. And they're also posting photos of themselves having fun. And it really is a small local community. If you look at like how many real estate agents are on your real estate board. I'm in the Toronto area. Do you know how many real estate agents are on that board? 40,000, 60,000. It is a ridiculous number of how many thousands of real estate agents are on that board. And yet it is still a small community. The top players still know each other. The community is still there and supporting. So we do these events where we'll do a Segway tour. One of my colleagues, he does a monthly meetup at a different steakhouse. And then just for fun, he'll also do one for vegans as well. So obviously not at a steakhouse. And they do these monthly meetups where they're going to different restaurants in town. One of the times we did a self-defense class. So we did a women in real estate self-defense at the local real estate board. So I contacted the board and asked them if we could rent space. And then I contacted a self-defense instructor that was local, and we put the whole thing together. And the board was super supportive of the whole idea because it was for women in real estate. And it was just a very hot topic at the time. And it gave me a reason to pick up the phone and to call people and to connect with them and to invite them and to include them in what we're up to. If maybe you have a driving range nearby, you could do golf lessons at the driving range. So call the driving range and just ask them, how much would it cost for us to have an instructor for an hour or two, just walking up and down, yelling at like 10 or 12 of us how to do better? And they'll tell you whatever that price happens to be. And then you can split that price between everybody. So you don't actually have to pay for everybody. You just have to get group rates, and then the agents pay themselves. So this isn't coming off of your dime. You're just the one that's kind of putting the whole thing together. Beer and wine tasting, that's a thing as well. One of the things I didn't realize was going to really blow up was a make and take. I did a make and take, and it was, so I had one of those, what are they? Essential oil companies. I had them come in and they set up all these tables with stations. So there was, we made organic headache roller, We made a Febreze, like a room freshener for vacant listings and open houses, stress relief, bath bomb, salt, and something else. And 83 people came to that one, 83 realtors, and 3 of them flew in, hopped on an airplane, one from another country. I was blown away. The make and take, for whatever reason, people like the idea of making things and taking it with them. So we did a seasonal make and take where you could have one based on the different seasons. Maybe it could be based on Christmas, or it could be based on the spring, summer, fall. You know what I mean? You could do it based on that type of thing. But make and takes are a slam dunk. I could not believe that people were hopping on an airplane to come to this make and take. And we had high level leaders from different companies as well, like the CEOs and the people running the show. They were showing up. It was a really cool idea. So every month I would have a new idea on my horizon, and it gave me the ability to pick up the phone. And it was so much easier for me to call people and reconnect with people, because some of the agents in the area that you're building relationships with, maybe you haven't talked to them in 2 years, in 3 years. And if every time you call them, it's about, hey, our company's better, switch to us, eventually that person is going to stop answering your phone call. But if you become a professional fund haver and every time you call them, it's about something that they don't want to miss out on, there's a better chance that they're going to answer when they see your phone number ringing. It creates a positive and fun future that for lead follow-up and reconnecting. It's just a really good package. And I really, really encourage you, of all the things that you should be doing for agent recruiting, it should be getting face-to-face. However you make that happen, I encourage you to do that on a monthly basis. I would plan it for around the end of the month, because that will give you like 3 weeks, 4 weeks of lead time to kind of promote the event. And when you're talking to people, you're like, oh, hey, Danny, what's up? What's new? I'd be like, oh, yeah, hey, we got this thing coming up at the end of the month. I don't want you to miss out. Do you want to go to it? And a lot of people, by the way, a lot of people will say like that they don't want to go, or they can't go, or they're interested, but there's something else happening in their life. And I use it as a list building opportunity. So I'll say to the people, well, hey, that's awesome. If you don't want to miss out on the future ones, is it okay if I keep you in the loop? And most people will say, yeah. And I'm like, okay, great. So what's your email? What's your cell number? They give me their email and their cell number. And then later on, I'll add them to my database, such as Brokerkit, and I put them in as an agent, and then I'll tag them so that I can do email marketing, text marketing, calling, that sort of thing. One of the tools you might want to consider looking at is Eventbrite. And so Eventbrite is a totally free tool that allows you to make events. So, I mean, Brokerkit is cool because they allow you to make landing pages as well for recruiting. And Eventbrite, they allow you to make events. And on these events, you could promote your office trainings. You could promote your upcoming make and take, your women in real estate self-defense, your driving lessons at the golf range. Like, you can put your events on Eventbrite, and it is totally free. What's cool about Eventbrite is when the people register for your event, it has like a little communication tool within it that you can alert the attendees 2 hours before they show up to like, don't forget to bring such and such, or don't forget to log in. Here's your Zoom meeting. So it kind of creates a mini CRM just specifically for that event. And at the end of the event, you can take all of those contacts and then you can import them. So you can import them into Brokerkit, and you can do it manually by downloading the whole CRM with like an Excel sheet, or you can automate it with a tool such as Zapier, which I'll get into later on. You can even charge for events using Eventbrite. So if you had a paid event, Eventbrite allows you to actually collect payment. And so they are the ones that will process the credit cards. And it's nice that you don't have to set up a merchant account. It's nice that you don't have to set up all these other things, because if you actually set up like an online processing for credit cards, there's a couple pieces of software that you need, and that they all want a piece of the action. And Eventbrite does as well, but it's a lot cleaner because it's easier. They take a super small percent. I forget what it is. Let's just say it's under 4%. I know that. I don't know if it's 2 or 3 or what it is, but anyways, whatever you charge, they just keep 2%, 3%, something like that, which is fine because these are really going to be one-offs. Most of you aren't going to be charging ever anyways. Most of your events are going to be free. So therefore, Eventbrite is totally free. So that's one more fishing pole that you can put in the water. It allows you to get face to face with your contacts. It allows you to your event. It gives you something to always be marketing. So at the end of the month, when I have an event coming up, I've got social media, I've got a blog post, I've got email drip. Like I've got all this extra content that I can leverage just from doing one event once a month. It gives me all of that fresh ongoing content. It also gives me a reason to pick up the phone and to call my sphere of influence, my real estate friends in the local community, for calling them, for texting them, and for emailing them. And you can automate things like that as well through programs such as Brokerkit, which is really cool. It's extremely low cost. So every month when I put on the event, because I'm not paying for everybody, everybody pays for themselves. I mean, a lot of the times I even got to do it for free just because I was the ringleader. So it's an extremely low cost initiative for you to get face to face with local realtors. And it's super fun. I mean, who wants to have fun in 2021? We all do, because 2021 and 2020 has been a real ringer for a lot of us. And so it just brings that spark and brings that joy back to your career and what you're currently doing. So I want to touch on recruiting sites, and this is where you post your job offerings. And I know you guys have, some of you have tried this where you put your job boards on Indeed and LinkedIn and ZipRecruiter, and some of these on your slide, they'll work in some areas and not in others. Like Kijiji on the bottom right, for example, is, I believe, only Canada. And then a couple of the ones on here are also only the US. So you have to check and see which ones work in your area. And the challenge with these job boards, because some of you already know you've done this before and you're like, oh my God, this Dan kid doesn't know what he's talking about. Because as soon as you post jobs for real estate, what do you get? Well, you generally don't get real estate agents that are applying. You get people that think they're going to be getting a job. I understand this. So just don't hang up on the webinar with me just yet. Just stick it out because I'm going to give you an idea. These are leads that pay you. So how many of you post on your job boards and you're actually paying for it? Like you'll pay Indeed to boost that. Most of you. How many of you are actually getting paid for it? Not any of you. So I'm going to show you how you can get paid for it. And when you do it in this strategy, it's going to actually pay the bills for you. So of 100 people that apply on your job board, 90 of them won't even have their real estate license or even become a realtor. 10 of them might graduate or have their license. And of those 10, it's like maybe 5 will sell, right? So it's a very small number of the number of people that are applying on these things that are actually true candidates for you. And I realize that. So how we work it so that you get paid, we do a secondary approach where we'll advertise on Indeed, but we'll drive them to a landing page, maybe such as something that you could do on Brokerkit. You build a landing page on Brokerkit, and on that, it has about like join the team, and it has a video of you talking about joining the team, blah, blah, blah. When a person applies, we put them through a survey. You could use a tool like SurveyMonkey, or there's different ways of doing it. But anyways, when a person applies, we ask them questions. And when we ask these questions, one of the questions is something like, hey, as a real estate agent, we just want to make sure that you can hit the ground running. So do you know anybody that's thinking of buying a home or selling a home in the next 3 to 6 months? Anybody who answers that question gets identified as a lead source because they just told us somebody that they think is moving. So when I call that person that isn't going to become a realtor, I call them up, they answer the phone. I'm like, hey, looks like you're thinking of getting into real estate. Do you know anything about that? Like, have you gone through the schooling or are you about to start? No? Oh, okay. Well, this is what it would look like. But hey, I noticed that your mom is moving. And since you have an interest in real estate, what about this? What if I had you shadow me and I show you how I set her up on a prospect match and I show you how we can do the house value report? I'll actually like share my computer screen and we'll do it together. And then I'll get that report off to her. Would that be okay? Boom. And then I start working with them for those leads. So it actually pays the bills because you're getting buyer leads and seller leads that you could either work yourself as a company or a team, or you could hand them out to agents within your own company because you'd be getting those referrals. Thanks for applying and taking this survey. As a new agent, I'm sure you'll want to hit the ground running. Do you currently know anyone thinking of moving? If no, how do you plan on generating leads? Let us know below. So on the survey, I like putting a video above each question just because it builds that mind share of people like know you, like you, trust you. By the time I get people on the phone with me, they think I'm a rock star. They can't believe I'm answering the phone or I'm the one who's following up with them. They're like, is this really Danny Wood, like the guy in the video? And it truly does. Like, you should be using video for all of your landing pages. You should be using video for all of your follow-up. You should be using video anytime you're trying to send a person to a website and to take action. You should be using video. And anyways, on our survey, each question, we like having the video because it just solidifies that face-to-face relationship you're trying to build. So this is just another fishing pole that you put in the water. So it's a great way for you to build your database because you're going to get hundreds of applicants every month. And if you do that survey, you're also going to get a lot of buyer seller leads as well. And then it creates evergreen marketing. This is like a set it and forget it approach. So I really like evergreen marketing. It's things like all efforts take time. All marketing takes time to set up at the front end. But once you have it in place and it's working and you can just leave it and let it run in the background, it's like that's the domino effect of what makes our business of recruiting a lot easier, is because we have all these dominoes set in place and they just get bigger and bigger and more complicated as we go. But it's not like we have to reinvent the wheel every month. We've got these systems in place. Okay, so that's another fishing pole. The newspaper is a strategy that makes a lot of sense for some of you in some areas. Like in Toronto, maybe not, but I'm actually just on the outskirts of Toronto, which is Oshawa, Ontario. And Oshawa is one of those little cities that has its own newspaper. And in that newspaper is a real estate section. And that is a really popular section in the local newspaper. And so maybe not in Toronto, but maybe if I was in a smaller city, this strategy works really, really well. I'll show you an example of an ad that we would run. So this would be like a quarter page ad type of thing. And the we're hiring is extremely big and bold. Our logo is grayed out because if you're looking at a newspaper, there's a lot of competition for eyeballs in the newspaper. And the biggest thing we want to be seen is we're hiring, because that's what people tune into. Then they'll look at our logo. Then they'll look at my face. Then they'll look at the call to action. But we want the we're hiring part to be big and bright. And then I use a call to action. I say text hiring to 905-903-5442. So I'm actually just using my cell phone. That way I'm not, because some companies, there's companies that will charge you just for the texting thing. And Brokerkit does texting as well, which is awesome. So you can do texting through your Brokerkit where people can text you and it goes into your CRM. If you want to go like direct to your phone, you could just use your phone number. And in my case, I said text the word hiring. And then randomly people are texting me the word hiring. And I'm like, oh, I know they're at the newspaper. And then I can just take over. It just goes to my cell phone like a regular person. So, and then we put in the bullet points down the bottom. We're hiring sales representatives, teams, marketing, and admin. So I don't know, I get people all over some of them are licensed, some of them are not licensed, but it just continues to bring those conversations on a weekly basis. And this is another one of those evergreen marketing. I mean, other than you got to pay for it every week. So you do that and you just set it and forget it. It'll show some of the bullet points as to why you might want to consider doing this, because it builds critical mind share of the real estate agents who are actually advertising in the newspaper on a weekly basis. They tend to be the more active agents because it's expensive. And they themselves skim through and look at what's happening. And they really like to look at other agents' ads to see what they're doing and what's working. So you're capturing the eyeballs of active agents that are actually have a budget and are advertising in your local community. I mean, if you could go on a campaign and just recruit all the agents that have the billboards and newspaper spaces, they're the ones that are paying for your brokerage to advertise. So it makes a lot of sense to really go after the agents that are spending big dollars on branding themselves, because when they brand themselves at the same time, they kind of have to brand you as well. It's a constant reminder to the realtors in your local community, and they're ready when they are. How many of you have talked to a person and they're like, oh, no, I'm happy, I'm never moving. And then like 5 months later, you see the big announcement, I switched to such and such company, blah, blah, blah. So excited. I love my old brokerage, but I'm excited about the new one. And you're like, what? I was just talking to that guy and he told me he's never going to move. Why didn't he even call me? And it's because you didn't have mind share. And so you need to be ready when they are ready. And one of the best ways of doing that is having things like this in their face at all times, because when Joe Blow, who's advertising in the newspaper, is thinking about making a switch, and then he's finally swiping through the ad and he's like, oh yeah, Danny, he is hiring. I should talk to that guy. And it's just a passive way for me to trigger and make that happen. Vistaprint has a really cool story. It's a printing company that they used to offer free business cards. And so on one side of the business card was your business card. And on the back side, it said something like printed for free at vistaprint.com. And they just blew up as a printing company. Now their quality is trash. If you order something from them, it's probably going to be like a mistake and then you have to order it again, but you get it for free. So I guess that's good. Anyways, it's super cheap. For 250, you can get 250 business cards made up for about $9. So what we would do is any new agent that joins the company for $9, they get their card made up on one side, and on the back of the card it's this, and it has ABC, like my company, we're hiring, and it's got all of our information, blah blah blah. So they use these as burner cards. So in some areas, if you're doing a showing at a property, you have to leave a business card that you're at that property. And so these are the types of cards that the agents are handing out because they use their good cards for when they're with their clients. And so we give them these as burner cards for when they're need to go do showings and stuff like that. And I mean, it's super, super cheap. So Vistaprint, $9, and you got them handing out your business cards for you. So it creates conversation. It's super cost effective and it's handed out for you. It's a no-brainer. I mean, I don't know why I don't see more people doing this, because yeah, do it. Just do it. Like, you should be getting your agent's cards so that they can hand out for you. Google, it makes a lot of sense. If a person is within a 20-minute radius of your brokerage, if any single person is sitting at a computer or a device in your area and they search getting into real estate, becoming a realtor, real estate school, real estate job, real estate career, if they type out those types of keywords, would you not want to be found? Like, they're literally going to Google right now saying like that's what they're into, that's what they're looking for. And you can tighten the radius so that it's not your whole city. You can tighten the radius so that it's just like a 20-minute radius of, like, if anybody is within my brokerage and they're searching these words, I want to be found. So these are the types of words that I would be targeting. And you can do it rather cheap, $100 a month, because it's not super competitive. There's not, like, real estate is competitive. If you were doing Google pay-per-click in your city for house values, home values, real estate for sale, those types of keywords, extremely competitive, right? But if you go to if I go to Google right now and I type in real estate career, let me just do it. I'm going to go to my phone. Actually, everybody has a little exercise in your little city. Let's just see if you go type in real estate job, real estate job on your phone. In my area on Google, there's three ads. One of them isn't even right. It's a portfolio management tool. So they're wasting their money. The other one, there's one ad, Zolo is got an ad. Zolo real estate jobs, no desk fees, no free leads, real estate jobs in Canada. So they're doing a good job. But like, there's only one person that's actually advertising properly here in my area. So for $100 a month, I mean, I could be spot number 2. You know what I mean? Super affordable. Okay.
And one thing to add, if you want to kind of automate that, you can put those ads right at your Brokerkit landing page, or, push them in that way. Or if you're running kind of Facebook ads, you can push them in via Zapier as well, if they're Facebook lead ads.
Oh yeah. So absolutely. All of these, like real estate job, real estate career, that sort of thing. This is what it would look like. So I would run the Google ad, and right in the middle, as soon as the person does the Google search and they type in real estate job, my ad would come up and they would click on it. Where do they go when they click on that ad? Well, it would go to my Brokerkit landing page. And on that landing page, it would talk about joining the team. And these are the things that we're going to get you. We're going to get you training. We're going to get you resources. We're going to get you leads. We're going to get you XYZ, whatever your company has to give. And then I make a really simple video.
And you can add that video right in your Brokerkit landing page. And then where it says free download, you can offer a lead magnet, mention it in there. When they submit, then you can automatically trigger a campaign that sends an email with that lead magnet for them. So
nice. And I'll give you an example of the lead magnet as well. This is the lead magnet. So the free download that they get should include the schooling that they need. So I would include what school would they go to, who do they contact, what's the course structured timeline cost look like. The other thing I include in that is how much they can earn. So we made up a chart, and that chart is like if you sell 1 to 5 homes, 5 to 10, 10 to 15. So it's got like a different chart range, and then it's got different price points. And then we show them how to figure out, like, if you sell 12 homes a year and your average price is this is how much you could earn as a realtor. So we show them the math on how to figure that out. And then industry contacts, that's straight up just like in my neck of the woods, organized real estate you have to be a part of if you're a realtor. And so that means there's a local board. So for me, that would be the Durham Region Association of Realtors. But then because that's in Ontario, which is my province, or in you guys would be your state, you'd have your state or province. So I have my Ontario Real Estate Association. And then because that is in Canada, there's the Canadian Real Estate Association. And so you guys would be a part of NAR. And so that's 3 different levels of industry contacts that this realtor or soon to be realtor should know about. So we basically summarize and put the website, the phone number, and the mailing address. And all of that is in a really simple PDF. It's about 2 pages, 2 or 3 pages. It's nothing like super extensive. And it's really handy. So if you go to the video of me as like the video I would do on the landing page. Hey, it's Danny Wood over at ABC Realty. If you're thinking of becoming a realtor here in Durham, you found the place. Contact me below and I'll send you a PDF showing you the schooling you'll need, the industry contacts you should have, plus how much you can make as an agent. Fill in the form now and I'll follow up later to answer any questions you have. Okay, see you on the other side. When they fill in that form, we put them through that survey also asking like, hey, as a brand new agent, we want to make sure you can hit the ground running. So we capture them that way as well. So that's a brilliant source. Set it and forget it. Another lead magnet that you can put out there.
And then on the survey, once they submit through your Brokerkit landing page, you just trigger a campaign that has an email that goes out. And then there's just a link to fill out the survey in the email.
Yeah. Hey, you know what a good first email is for these people is nosy neighbor alerts. So I do better on the phone than I do with the email on this one. But anyways, when I get a person on the phone and they're thinking of becoming a real estate agent, I say, hey, just play along with me, and you can totally be wrong. But if you could guess, how many homes do you think sold in your neighborhood last year? Do you think it was like 3, 8, 12, 20? And they'll tell me a number. They'll be like, oh, I don't know, 8. So it doesn't matter what they say. Just repeat what they say. 8. Okay, so you'd agree that's not a very overwhelming or very spammy number, because we got this cool system that what it does is it notifies you of all the activity just in your neighborhood. And it's going to keep you up to date on the pricing. So you're going to be able to watch real estate and get an idea of values and really learn the market in your local neighborhood. But then it's also going to give you ideas on home renovations that people have done to properties similar to yours. It's going to give you ideas on home staging that people are doing. And it's just like a fun little passive way for you to kind of be like a local realtor and understand what's happening. And it's totally free. And I didn't want you to miss out. Is it okay if I include you on that? And they say, yeah. I'm like, awesome. Okay, so what's your exact email? Tell me their email. Okay, I really want to narrow this down for you. So what's your address, postal code, zip code? Like, I really want to dial it in for you. So now they tell me all that information. Then when we hang up the phone, I set them up as if they were a buyer, but they're not a buyer, but I set them up as if they're a buyer, and they're going to get notified of just the real estate that hits the market. And I don't do the whole city. I just do their pocket. And this is another real estate drip that I could put a person on that's real estate related. It's branded as me, coming from me. It's building a relationship with this person. And it's just like another piece of automation that I can set up that is really hyper local and relevant to that person. It's not like I'm putting them on some gross spammy thing of like fix your roof tips, cooking recipes, like just I don't know, sometimes we put junky mail just to get our face in people's inboxes. It's not like that at all. it's true value, and it's all people should be set up on that. All of the buyers and sellers that you're working with, and all of the people that, especially the people that are thinking of becoming a real estate agent, get them set up on it because they're really tuned into that. So those Google ads is fresh blood. I don't know why I use that word. It sounds gross, but anyways, it's fresh contacts, it's fresh conversations, it's fresh people every month. It's just, you don't even, you just have to respond to the leads coming in on your phone, right? It's super simple. It's not like you have to be super proactive and like stand at your desk and cold call prospect for 3 hours a day. These are warm people that are giving you their information about getting into the business of real estate. So it builds and grows your database. It also generates buyer seller leads, and you can do it for like $100 a month. I mean, yes, please. Why would I spend money anywhere else if I wasn't going to do Google pay-per-click? It makes so much sense that that's where I would be, because I'm only targeting people that at this moment searching about becoming a realtor, and they have to be within even a 10-minute radius. I could just do like the tightest, smallest little, I could just do my zip code or postal code if I wanted around my brokerage to say anybody in this pocket, if they do searching about becoming a realtor, I want my ads to be discovered. If anybody needs help with setting up Google ads, by the way, my phone number is 905-903-5442. We help people set that sort of thing up. Remarketing is a strategy that you should consider. I don't think everybody should do it. I think most should consider it. And if you've already got a lot of marketing out there, then remarketing makes a lot of sense. If you are just starting this, maybe some of you just became a recruiting manager this last week, this is the last thing you should do, because you've got so many other fishing poles that you should be putting in the water. But anyways, I'm going to share these ideas with you. It's going to be more for the people that are already actively marketing. So you could do remarketing to anybody who's gone to your website before, and for $50 a month, you could remarket to them. So when a person, we've all kind of seen this before, where you go to Amazon, you go to buy something, and then you don't actually pull the trigger, and then you go to Facebook, and then all of a sudden you start seeing the ads for that. Really creepy stuff. Anyways, you can do that. It's called remarketing. So you could target anybody that goes to, like, for example, your Brokerkit landing page. You could say anybody who goes to this page but doesn't fill in the form, add them to this list. And when it's adding them to the list, it's adding the device. So if I went to Jim's Brokerkit landing page on my phone, it would tag my phone. If I went to it on my computer right here, it would tag my computer. And then if I choose, I can run ads to these devices in the future. $50 a month. You can also do remarketing based on search terms as well. So what that means is I could say, okay, anybody that's gone to my website and they're looking at another website that has these keywords, then I want my ad to appear. So you can have your ads appear on other websites so long as those keywords are written in the content somewhere on that page. And then your email database is another one. So you can export all of the contacts that you've gathered and captured in Brokerkit, as an example. We can take that list and we can get all the agents' emails and phone numbers in your city. Then we can export that. And then we can do Facebook ads, we can do Google ads, we can do different types of ads, remarketing. And how it knows is when I log into Facebook, I log in with a username and a password. And that username is usually your email. And despite that, on my profile of Facebook, I've got my email is listed, my phone number is listed. And so I can target anybody who, if I have their email or their phone number and they log into Facebook, I can target them there, or on Google. Like a lot of people log into watch YouTube videos, or a lot of people use Gmail. Those are the two big ones. And if they do, Google knows their phone number and email, and then I can target ads to that account. So there's a lot of different ways that you can remarket to people.
And one thing I want to add in, I get a lot of questions around the restrictions that Facebook and Google put in place last year around targeting ads with content that includes employment, housing, or credit. So I think if you're doing any ads, you're probably familiar with this. And so the question is, how do I do these ads and them not get blocked by Google and Facebook? So a couple ideas to kind of consider are, make it more of a branding ad. or make it for an event and just don't use keywords that are going to get flagged for kind of real estate or employment. So consider that. Dan, any other ideas there? Because I know it's a question a lot that comes up frequently.
Oh, well, you can also check off that it is a special ad category. Like you just can't be, so special ad category is housing, and that's people that are buying or selling a home, the employment, and political. So if I was a realtor doing a housing ad, as soon as I check off that it's a special ad category, it just means that I can't change the criteria of who I'm targeting. Like before, I'd be able to say, I only want my Facebook ad to hit people that are 35 and over, that speak English, and I could have like different criteria that would meet, and then those would be the people that see my ads. Well, as soon as I check off the special ad category, I can still run the ad. It just means I can't set the age, I can't
Right.
set the language, I can't set the parameters, but you still can advertise all of
Well,
those. You can still
and
advertise.
you can't import a list. So like what you used to be able to do was import your MLS agent list out of Brokermetrics or MarketView Broker and serve ads to them. You can still do it. You just have to be careful with the keywords in it, because that's considered kind of like a custom audience for targeting as well.
So when we're doing these remarketing ads, these are the ads that we would run. And when a person is watching YouTube, you've seen a YouTube video and at the bottom is a banner. We get our ads put on there. Over on the right, where the suggested videos are, you can get your banners put on there as well. You can also target other websites. So in our area, I'm up in Canada, and we use Kijiji a lot. You guys in the States use Craigslist. And anyways, on these types of platforms, they're runoff ads. So that's how they get paid. And so knowing that, I can target just the real estate pages within Kijiji when a person is in Oshawa. So it's very hyper local and extremely targeted. Now, these banner ads, I should just preface something in case some people are like, oh, this sounds so awesome, I want to do it. They're actually really not that good for lead generation. They're more better for branding and mind share. So anytime it's a banner style ad, the click-through rate and lead conversion rate isn't the greatest. I'm going to tell you that right now. This is more of a branding strategy. I just want to share that because some people don't realize. You can even target pages specifically. So I wanted to advertise on Inman years ago, and the price for the monthly package was astronomical. And I'm like, wow, that is a lot of money, and I don't want to spend that. So I discovered that they actually use the Google banner at the time. I don't know if they still do now, because maybe they watched my past webinar where I showed this. But anyways, at the time,
by the way, we just tested this recently.
They do?
And it works, yes.
Yeah, okay. So the idea is this. So Inman and other websites, they use the Google Banner Network. So you can actually be specific and say what website specifically you want your ads to appear on, but you can even dial it in a little deeper, and you can target specific pages. So I got a list of all the pages on Inman that related to like real estate coaching, for example. And I got a list of all of those URLs. And then we ran our ads just targeting Inman, and anybody that was on that website looking at the coaching content. If it talked about coaching, then our ads were there, and it was a fraction of the price. Like, I'm not saying don't support Inman. I love Inman when we should support them. And yeah, you should have your subscription and do everything else. But maybe this is a way you can double down. You can still advertise on Inman, and you can advertise through the Google network on Inman. And just know this, if you do the Google network version, it is going to be a fraction of the price, and it's the same website. Another fishing pole, put it out in the water. I don't even like fishing, guys. I don't know why I keep using this fishing pole analogy, but anyways, so we got another fishing pole we put out into the water. And so for between 50, 150 a month, you can do mass targeted marketing. It's evergreen, it's set it and forget it, which is awesome. I'm all about that strategy. And you can change the messages up quarterly. So every season we change up the messages and the branding just to freshen it up a little. And also to split test what works. So we're always changing our images up. Okay, on Facebook, I haven't run this type of ad in a while, but I don't see why it still wouldn't work. We used to offer a free book. And so we would advertise targeting realtors in our area. And every month I would pick a different book. and they would actually get the free copy, a full real book. The trick was, and it wasn't a trick, it was that I didn't mail it to them. They had to come to my office to pick it up. So of the like 20 people a month that would claim their free book, how many would actually show up to get the book? Not 20, I'll tell you that. But I still captured 20 leads. I still captured the name, phone number, and email of 20 realtors. And I was still able to invite them on the upcoming events and to include them on future training and to do that sort of thing. So even though the cost of each book was like 15, $20, whatever. I don't know what books cost in your area, but I'm in Canada, so I guess they cost me a little bit more. So anyways, $15, $20 per book. And then I would have the cost of running the ads, but it was a really good evergreen, set it and forget it strategy. This is an example of a book, Deliver the Unexpected by Richard Robbins. It's a fiction book of a struggling real estate agent that turns things around. And it's a really good book. And I think everybody in the industry should read it. So not just this book, there's a whole bunch of real estate related books that I found of great value. And so every month I would just like basically run a free book club, and you could claim a free book, and I would target real estate agents. So how would I target the real estate agents? You can do demographics in Facebook marketing. So I could target anybody who went to a specific school. So in Ontario, where I'm at, the only place you can get your real estate license is, at the time, AREA Real Estate College. Of all of Ontario, we all had to get our license through AREA. So within Facebook, I could target and say anybody whose schooling says they went to AREA Real Estate College, I want to target them. Or you can target demographics based on job titles. So I could target anybody whose profile in Oshawa says real estate agent, real estate broker, real estate salesperson, real estate associate. I can target that. I can target the keywords of the companies as well. So anybody who works at Remax Jazz, Remax Ability, Remax First, Remax Specialist, Remax Enterprise. So I can target the different companies if I wanted to, or I can target them based on interest. And I could say, who are the people that are interested in Brian Buffini, Tom Ferry? Like really, it's just real estate agents and maybe some mortgage people. But I could use the mortgage as a negative as well. So if a person is a mortgage broker, I can use that as a negative and then remove them from the list. So I can specifically target real estate agents and give them a free book. Okay, next slide.
And then one other tip back to the MLS data. You can export your data out of Brokerkit directly or out of, a data source like BrokerMetrics or MarketView Broker, and import that as an audience. And as long as the ad doesn't have keywords in it that will get it flagged for real estate or employment, which, right, offering a book it's pretty easy to write the ad so it's not going to get blocked. You're going to be able to serve it up to that list if you're going after experienced agents.
Good tip. You might want to take a picture of that. And then the next one, this one's kind of cool. So you can target people. So see on the left, it says interest. I have Brian Buffini, the National Association of Realtors, and Mike Ferry organization. So those are three interests. I'm saying if anybody is interested in one or all of these, I want to target them. But then see underneath that, it says, and must also match. Look at this category. So I have behaviors, digital activity, Facebook page admin. So they have to be interested in Brian Buffini or Remax or something real estate related and a Facebook page admin. So now on the right, look at the right side where it says potential reach, 1,700,000 people, just based on this one filter. So if I didn't include the Facebook page admin, the number on the right wouldn't be 1,700,000. It would be like lots of millions. I don't even know what the number would be. It would be a really big number. But because I'm specifically targeting people who on their profile, they're also a Facebook page admin, it means not that they have higher clout. It just, I don't know, it's just a way of targeting people specifically that have a little bit more savviness when it comes to digital marketing. If they're running a page, if they own a page and they're a real estate agent in my network or in my area, then that might be somebody I want to target. So it's just like a fun little filter. Like a lot of people think the bigger the number, the better. And I think the opposite. I think the smaller the number, the better. So the more niche you can make it, the better your marketing would be. So the Facebook custom audiences, you can just Google search that. It's literally called Facebook custom audience. And there's a button, it says create an audience. And that's where you would take your list that you can export out of Brokerkit. So you can have your list of all the people that have attended your events. You can have your list of all the people that are applying for your jobs. You can have your list of all the people in your system that you've identified as a realtor that you're working a relationship with. You can export that list as a CSV file, name, phone number, email, and then you can import it here into Facebook, and it doesn't cost you anything to do that. And then in the future, if you choose to, you can run ads targeting specifically to those people. Different pricing strategies, 150 a month. I mean, you can run, we sometimes will run a ad 1 week on, 1 week off, 1 week on, 1 week off. So we rotate it and space things out. We don't need things running 24 hours a day. And it just gives us a little more breadth and room with our marketing budget, but we're still able to hit people. The key is for them to see your face and your branding over and over and over again. But it's not a sprint, it's a marathon, right? So we're going to be here next year, we're going to be here 5 years from now. And so I don't want you guys to blow your brains out just spending all your money in the first quarter. Yeah, look at your budget, spread it out. And we even do something, sometimes our campaigns, they'll be running every day, but it'll be on 1 hour on, 1 hour off, 1 hour on, 1 hour off. So we even like spread out the hours within the day that our ads are running, just to milk the marketing power that we have and to stretch a little bit further. All right, so here's a couple examples of Facebook ads that we would run. So if you go to the next slide, it'll zoom in. And the first one here would be like a welcome announcement. So if somebody joins your team or joins your company, you might want to do like a welcome announcement. So we do this where we make it like an open house sign, and then we put the agent's face on it and all the branding and everything. It says, please welcome Danny to our office, blah, blah, blah. So really fun. I don't know if like, you should be doing it. Every time somebody joins your company, you should definitely be making some sort of public announcement. If you can, do a newspaper article, but definitely do a Facebook ad, remarketing, targeting just the agents in your city, just welcoming the new person to your office. Okay, next slide. If you are ever doing any seminars, webinars, in-house training, webinar, like virtual training, you can promote those on Facebook. So this is like an example of a webinar we did. We called it Facebook Like a Boss, a real estate agent's playbook. And this cute little girl with a thumbs up, who is definitely going to be a good realtor. I can tell by looking at her. And so anyways, we would take this ad and we would target real estate agents, and we would offer them the free recording, and they would register for it, get the free recording. Most of them don't even watch the recording. People just don't like missing out. So they're like, oh, I want that. They'll register for it, but they won't even take action. It's ridiculous. But anyways, I'm able to capture their name, their phone number, their email, give them a phone call and be like, hey, did you get a chance to watch that Facebook webinar? No? Oh, hey, that's okay. So wait, let me tell you a couple strategies that work really well. And then we just start having a real conversation with a real person about like the top 3 things of that webinar, for example. Every quarter, so we don't run this all the time because it's a really boring ad, but every quarter we it's just big and bold, switch brokerages, and then your company's logo, like that, boom, memory, switch brokerages, your logo, switch brokerages, your logo. Like it's a super simple ad when a person is scrolling through their news feed and it's like switch brokerages. What? Like, I don't know. It's just a good little pattern. We do this on a quarterly basis. And it's just switch brokerages. And then we have a business card and we have our logo. You would put your logo on it and you target just the real estate agents within your community. Okay, so you got to fish where the fish are. And if that's where people are hanging out, which would be like Instagram, Facebook, maybe LinkedIn, depending. So you got to have these ads running where the people actually are. It's easy targeting, like super easy targeting. It can be expensive, but it can also be really effective. So it's a little trial and error to find what works for you. I found that the book offer worked out really good. Webinars, free training, kind of getting exhausting with COVID. Is just like so much of it is being offered right now, and people have so little time to actually sit and watch a webinar, which, by the way, you who are here right now watching and in the future watching the recording, I really appreciate you sticking through to this. It means hopefully you're getting good value from it. But a lot of people don't have the time to even know if they're going to get value from a webinar. And so I'm finding promoting of webinars is still working, but it's not like it used to work in the past. In the past, not as many people were doing it, not as many people were offering it, and people, I guess, had more time, maybe. I don't know, but it can be very expensive with less results. Anyways, trial and error. The book offer works really good. Your monthly meetup, if you do become a professional fun haver like I am, and every month you have something fun on your agenda, promoting those events works really, really good. Okay, next slide. Sumo. If you do not have traffic to your website, plug your ears, cover your eyes, because I don't want you buying this. If you do have traffic to your website, you need it. So Sumo is like $250 a year. And that's why I'm telling the people to close your ears, plug their other way around, cover your eyes, plug your ears. If you don't have traffic, because I don't want you buying stuff you don't need. But if you do have traffic, you need Sumo. So Sumo converts 8% of our leads. So if you switch over to the next screen, it'll show you what it looks like. So here's my website, and up at the very top is this blue banner. On that blue banner says, we're hiring, become a realtor at ABC Realty, click here. When a person clicks there, it would drive them to a landing page on our website or your Brokerkit landing page. You could have it drive to anything you want. And for every 100 people that we send to our website, we're getting 8 of them giving us their name, phone number, and email because of this banner. So what's cool about this banner is a lot of you have a real estate website and it's got a bunch of listings on it. And those listings are automatically generated. So when a new listing hits the market today, you can see it on your website. Well, what Sumo does is it puts a banner on the top of every listing automatically. So you don't have to like keep logging in. It's just like set it and forget it. So go to the next slide. And it gives you this little editor within Sumo that allows you to design and change what these banners look like. So I'm not saying this blue one is the best one on the market. It's just an example that I'm showing you. You can design it to be whatever coloring you want. You can have your logo, you can have your font, you can have all of that information. If you switch to the next screen, give you a couple examples. So we're hiring, become a realtor today. We would drive that to the we're hiring page. We like to run career nights as well. And so we don't do it every week though, or even every month, just once in a while. And when we run these career nights, we would change the banner up. So it's what's cool about Sumo is you can actually change the banner on the fly. So it's really cool that we could like, oh, we got this event coming up and let's really push it everywhere. We're going to do email marketing. We're going to change our Sumo banner. We're going to get newspaper. We're going to get Facebook. We're going to do all these different things. How to become a realtor, watch a video, and we could drive people to a video page that talks about like, if you want to become a realtor, this is how you do it. So awesome strategy, but you need traffic. If you don't have traffic, then nobody's going to see the banner because nobody's seeing your website. So you don't need to pay $250. But if you do have traffic, I highly, highly, highly encourage you. I actually have a 1-hour webinar that shows you how to set up Sumo. So if you or your admin want access to that, my cell number is here, 905-903-5442. Just showing you that we can change the banners up on the fly. That pop-up, there was, you ever go to a website and it pops up where it takes up the whole screen? It's like, hey, like our stuff, subscribe here. Really annoying, right? That Sumo does the same thing, but not in the same irritating fashion. A person can be, I don't know how much longer do you want me to wrap up soon, Jim?
I think we're long at this point. Let's just keep going and get through the content.
Okay.
Because it's going to be in the YouTube channel for people to listen to later if they've taken off.
Okay. Yeah. So somebody just asked how long it's going. If you guys have to leave, go ahead and leave. Send me a text message at 905-903-5442. I'll do a free coaching call with you guys on the ideas that might work with you and get you a copy of the recording as well. And so anyways, the pop-up, as soon as a person goes to your website, it won't pop up. They can look at your listings, they can watch your videos, they can read your blog, and nothing happens. But if they go to leave, like hit the back arrow, change the URL, or close the browser, then it pops up. So that pop-up, because they're already leaving, so who cares? You might as well interrupt them. So it pops up and it's like, oh, wait, find out what your home is worth. Or, oh, wait, become a realtor today, or whatever your pop-up, whatever you want it to be. 8%. on top of it, on top of the other leads that we were already getting. Sumo is helping us convert an additional 8%. So it also integrates with your CRM. So when a person fills in on that CRM, when a person fills in on Sumo, for example, like that they want to subscribe to your newsletter, you could have Zapier pull that out and then automatically put it into Brokerkit that would then send them a welcome email and then put like a campaign for you to follow up with them type of thing. So it integrates with most CRMs and it's a pretty cool tool. Okay, next, animated Gifs. So you'll see the logo is going to start changing here. Think of your email signature more importantly than your website, but go to the next screen and it'll show you an example in an email signature. Most of you have an email signature, and within your email signature is just like the static logo. Well, why not change your logo so that it's an animated GIF so that it flashes your logo and then flashes call to action? Logo, call to action, logo, call to action. Now think of how many emails do you send on a daily, weekly, monthly basis? What about your team, your admin, your marketing people? How many emails are they sending on a daily, weekly, monthly basis? Now, if all of your staff have this animated logo and a person clicks on it, it could drive them to your Brokerkit landing page or your website about joining your company.
Yeah. So and one other thing to add too with Brokerkit, as you may not know, there's a team landing page, but each agent gets their own landing page where they can have their kind of unique branding, and it's part of the referral system. Just like they get a referral account, they get their own landing page. So not only can you use your landing page, each of your agents can too, and therefore, if you have a compensation plan on agent referrals, you're incentivizing them to go out and kind of market your landing page to send you leads.
Jim, show me that later. I have some ideas on it. Think of your email, your front desk, your admin, your whole marketing department. Any agent who cares about your company growing, they could have that logo. So how do you make these animated logos? So skip screens and I'll show you. There's 3 or 4 ways. So Giphy is the way I do it, and it's totally free, but they make it complicated. It's not as simple as like, here's my one image, here's my second image, and then like stitch this thing together. It's like I had to host the logos and do all this dumb stuff. So Giphy, if you're a techie, do that. If you're like, I'm not a techie guy at all, Dan, what are you talking about? And okay, then go to Upwork or Fiverr, and you can pay somebody like $5 and they will be able to animate these logos for you. And now that you've got this logo, you just delete the logo in your email signature, add this one, and just make sure that you also at the same time make it a link to your website or to your landing page, whatever the call to action is. Career nights are a fun one, but only when people show up. And it is like mission impossible to get a room full of people to a career night. So we have a strategy that works out really well for this. So we created a marketing kit for our agents, and we gave them cold calling scripts and to use it as an opportunity for our agents to call and connect with their database that's real estate related. So we gave them scripts and everything on calling their database, social media and animated videos. So we pre-made the social media, we pre-made videos, we pre-made images. So we gave them a kit of marketing material that they could post and share and use. An email blast, I actually typed up the email and said, here, if you wanted to email your database, this is what you could say. So I type up the email for them. I create the landing page for them, and I make a contest. And whatever agent brings the most people wins something, whatever it happens to be. So we would do this on like a quarterly basis. And it wasn't just me trying to get the room full, it was all of the agents. And I worked really hard for the agents to see the value in what's in it for them. And the value in what's in it for them is that they get to call and connect with their database to have a real estate related conversation that is easy and not very spammy or annoying. And it's just like an easy touch. And agents will do that. But you literally have to make everything for them. They won't make it and do it themselves. So we pre-created all of this material and then give it to them. And of the 80-20 rule applies. Of the 10 agents that I give the marketing kit to, only 2 of them will actually use it. Well, it's 2 more than I had before, right? And so I'm fine with that. Okay, so lightning round, I want to flip through things a little quicker. Join.me allows you to remotely share your computer screen. And we do this for you ever like working with a brand new agent that joins your company and you're like, oh, where do you get the logos? And you're like, oh, you just log in and go here. And they're like having a hard time with even that. Or they got a question about an offer, or they got a question about your CRM, or they got a question about something. Join.me allows you to easily share screen with people. I guess most of us are using Zoom these days, so you probably just use that if you're using the paid version. But join.me allows people to join you without needing an app, which is kind of cool. So anybody can see and join me. Like when I'm doing the calls of agents, people that are becoming a realtor, and I find out that their mom is moving, and I tell them, hey, you can shadow me and I'll set her up as a prospect match. I'm like, you're at a computer right now? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, okay, cool. Go to joindan.ca. And then they go to joindan.ca, and then it automatically logs them into my screen without having to download something. But with this, people can just see your screen and it's a lot easier. Oh, well, look who's here. Brokerkit. Welcome. Welcome to the party, Brokerkit. I flipped the screen over. I typed out a summary of some of the things about Brokerkit that stand out. It's a single place to capture leads and manage outreach and follow up. So it's kind of like your hub. It's your starting place, it's your ending place, the cleanest system for you is to have something that's telling you every day, hey, these are the people that you should be calling. Hey, on the back end, we're automatically running your marketing on, like, it's just your hub, right? You need that one space, and this is a clean place for that to happen because it integrates your calling, texting, email, and appointments. So you can do text messaging, you can automate your calling where it's telling you who to call and when. You could have email follow-up. So say I did like a career night, for example, and people register for that. I could say, okay, when a person registers for this career night, I want to send them a welcome email, obviously, but then I also want to send them 3 more emails or 5 more emails. And this is what the emails say. So you can pre-type all of that out, and then it's automated. So it automates your outreach, and also manual. So I really like the manual one where I have a specific date and time. So I add a person to my database, and then I say, okay, I'm going to give them a call in 2 weeks. That's the manual thing, because manually I have to pick up the phone and I have to actually call these people. But it's the manual approach that really helps you with recruiting. The automation stuff is great as a passive, but if you are really trying to recruit people, you got to be proactive. And so the manual outreach is a big one. But I can't remember all the people I got to call and why. And so with Brokerkit, you can do that. It also helps you with lead capture. So if you're doing Google ads, if you're doing the Facebook ads, if you're doing the email marketing, if you're on Craigslist and the other classifieds, the job sites, like all of those things, you could use a landing page from Brokerkit. It has a built-in referral system, and it even connects with Zapier. And Zapier is the tool that basically, if I got a Facebook lead for my free book offering, Zapier will take that person's name, phone number, and email, and then automatically add it to my Brokerkit, and then notify me and launch the email. And it does all of that redundancy of me having to copy and paste. If you've ever got a lead in your email and you found yourself copying that person's name, phone number, and email into another program, well, you should be talking to Brokerkit because we can automate stuff like that. It also allows you to import your MLS and agent production. So I could pull off a list of who are all the real estate agents in my city. Boom, I want to know who they are. But I also want to filter out who are the top producers, who are the luxury agents, who are the ones that are doing deals in this part of the farm area. Like you can really segregate and expand. And that would be a whole demo that I would encourage you guys to book with Brokerkit, because they can go deeper on how to strategically target and identify who are the agents in your area that are more likely to be in contact with you. And it's manage your recruiting, but also to manage your onboarding and agent retention, all from one system. So Brokerkit, the website, getbrokerkit.com, is that where you would tell people to go to book a demo? Where would you?
Yep, getbrokerkit.com, and you'll see get a demo button in the top right there. And we'd love to kind of talk to you about how you can automate some of these great tips that Danny's given you today.
Awesome. So we should end off on there. If anybody is listening to this recording in the future, whether it's next week, next month, next year, I'll still be here. My phone number is still going to be active. It's 905-903-5442. give me a call, give me a text, send me a carrier pigeon. It doesn't matter. If you want to do a free coaching call, I'll give you more ideas on agent recruiting and strategies on how to leverage the marketing side of things. Reach out to Jim and Mark. I appreciate you guys so much for having the patience.
Danny's happy to get on a coaching call to talk about some of these tips and how to implement them. We'd love to get on a call and talk about how to leverage Brokerkit to automate these. Thanks so much for those of you that have hung in.
Thank you, guys.